Hello, and welcome to Grug Gaming, and welcome back to another episode of What's in the Box. This time we have the Counter Surge deck that we're going to open up and take a look at and see what's going on in there. We're also going to attempt to not make lip smacking noises a bunch like we did on the other video. Sorry about that, folks, but here we go. So this is the Counter Surge box. It is a black and green deck ready to play plus sideboard. We already looked at Vehicle Rush, so just give you an idea that it power-ups creatures with +1/+1. It actually has some pretty, worthwhile cards in here as far as cost goes. Let's go ahead and open this guy up. I'm expecting it to be very similar to the Vehicle Rush deck as far as layout inside the box. The Vehicle Rush deck, by the way, I've been having a lot of fun with. I'll just throw that away in a minute. I took the Vehicle Rush deck, I pretty much used it, changed like 2 cards I think in it, and I have been going 2-0. Basically both times I went to F&M. We had 4 rounds total, came out mid-pack. Nope, I went 3-1. 3-1 the first F&M I went to it, and the second F&M I went to with it, I went 2-2. So it was real fun. Highly recommend you pick these up. They're just such a good way to get started, especially if you don't have a good card bank. Maybe you don't have one of the top tier decks, but you want to have fun, be competitive. These are a good way. So we open it up, same little card box on the inside as we saw before with Vehicle Rush. Spin down. This one has a nice swamp feel to it, of course. And then we have that same kind of deck box in here. When you take the thing I found, if you take this out, do I have Vehicle Rush nearby? No, it's far away. But if you take this out, your standard camera. Sorry, folks. Woo. When you take that out, these will fit in here quite well sleeved. You can fit your entire main deck and your 15-card sideboard sleeved in this box just perfectly with the divider. So we'll go ahead and put the box up here as well. So we have that same divider, so you can divide out your main deck and your sideboard. Handy that is. We have the sideboard right here. We'll take a look at that in a second. Ooh. The quick reference card. Again, I've spoken about these before. These are great if you just need something to show you the phases of the Magic turn. Super handy. Gives you the basics of how to play. Very useful, especially if you're getting back in. It's been a while and you don't remember how Magic works. And then the information here on your Challenger deck, how to look for F&M in your local area, how to find out more information, go to the website, your standard type of thing. So we have the deck itself, and on top we can already see the money card. So this deck is built around putting a bunch of +1/+1 counters on your creatures. And along with that, it has cards that, some weird, okay, lands. The lands all seem to have like some kind of weird damage on them every time I get a prepackaged thing. Alright, so, anyways, it's built around putting a bunch of +1/+1 counters. The big thing here is the Walking Ballista. So this card itself, I want to say, is like $25, $27, somewhere around there. I mean, this whole package is like 30 bucks. So this is almost the entire cost of the package right here, the Walking Ballista. The cool thing with the Walking Ballista is you can put counters on it. You can keep adding counters if you have extra mana to spend. And on top of that, you get to go ahead and just ping anything you want with those counters. And it's an instant speed ability. So if he's about to die, you can throw his counters away to do damage. I mean, it's just a great, great card. It's just good. It is an amazing card. Alright? We have Glint Sleeve Siphoner. Whenever he enters the battlefield or attacks, you get an energy token. At the beginning of your upkeep, we can pay 2 to draw a card and lose 1 life. So we can either get card draw out of him or build up energy for another card in our deck. So we'll go ahead and we got a full play set of him. Scrap Heap Scrounger, which we have in Vehicle Rush, and it's just a great card to keep on the battlefield. Now, the biggest downside to Scrap Heap is that he can't block. So that sucks, but if you partner him with a vehicle or something else so he can block, he is great. And again, he's a 3/2 attacker for 2 that you can keep bringing back onto the battlefield. I mean, it's card advantage right there, which is pretty handy. How many of him do we get? Do we get a full play set? No, we only get 2, but he is pretty great. Next, we have Rishkar, the Pema Renegade. When he enters the battlefield, get a +1/+1 counter on up to 2 target creatures. So think about it, your Walking Ballista, you could just put more counters on that Walking Ballista, and then that Walking Ballista can just free damage if you want. Each creature you control with a counter on it has tap to add a green to your mana pool, so it turns everything in your deck into mana ramp, basically. And we get a full, no, 3 of them, not a full play set, but a pretty good number. Dreamstealer, Menace, can only be blocked by 2 or more creatures. He deals combat damage that player has to discard a card and eternalize, which means that if he dies, we can bring him back for 6 mana from our graveyard as a 4/4 zombie. That's pretty cool. That eternalize ability is pretty nice from Hour of Devastation. Don't have a lot of those cards. Next up, we have Gonti, the Lord of Luxury. He has Death Touch. He's a 2/3. When he enters the battlefield, look at the top 4 cards of target library, exile one of them face down, then put the rest on the bottom of that library in a random order. For as long as that card remains exiled, you may look at it, you may cast it, and you may spend mana as though it were mana of any type to cast it. So, you're facing a red burn deck, oh, pull their biggest burn spell and use that at your, whatever you want. Whenever you want. That's pretty cool. I like that card a lot. Then we have the Mythic, Verdurous Gearhulk. 4/4 for 5. Trample. When it enters the battlefield, distribute 4 +1/+1 counters among any number of target creatures you control. Now, he can be a target creature too, so you could pump him up. You could put 4 1/1 counters on your Ballista. You could put him on something else out there. Just great. How many of these do we get? Oh, tell me we get a full play set. Oh, we only get 3. Oh well, but pretty cool. Next, we have Hour of Glory for 4. Exile target creature. If that creature was a god, its controller reveals his or her hand and exiles all cards from it with the same name as that creature. So, you know, some of the gods out there. I was fighting an FNM. I don't remember the god's name. It's a green god from Amonkhet that you have to have another big creature in play, but then he can attack, and he's a 5/5, and it was scary, and it was awful, and he can pump other creatures. I didn't like it. If I had a couple of these, might have been able to get rid of him that game. Next, we have a card that is just great. The Long Tusk Club. It's an uncommon, but look at this. Whenever he deals damage, you get 2 energy counters. Pay 2 energy counters to get +1/+1 on him. So if he starts hitting your opponent, he gets bigger and bigger. Or he banks up and banks up and banks up energy counters for you to use. Pretty good. Did I not clean my fingernails today? Oh, it's terrible. Just noticed that, and I think, do we get a full play set? I think we do. He is a core staple for most of the energy decks, which I like. Next up, we have Winding Constrictor. So, it's a 2/3 for 2. First of all, that's just not bad. Second thing, whenever we would put a counter on an artifact or creature you control, that many of those counters are placed on that permanent... That many of those counters +1 are placed. If we would get 1 or more counters, you get that many counters +1. So anytime we would get energy, we get an extra energy counter. Anytime we would put a +1/+1 on a creature, we get an extra +1/+1. So every +1/+1 we drop is a +2. Look at that. That's pretty awesome. How many of these guys do we get? Do we get a full play set? Oh, full play set. That's awesome. Blossoming Defense. One of the greatest defense cards right now in Standard, in my opinion. You spend 1 green mana, you pump for +2/+2, and you add hexproof to a creature. This is amazing, and this has... I need to start working this into my decks because it has been the thing in most decks I've played against. It has really stopped me from getting where I need to be or enacting my plan, is this card. Blossoming Defense is just a great, great card. You should be using it. At first, I was like, +2/+2, hexproof for 1 turn, who cares? But when you have things like Abrade out there, so much removal out there, it can be pain. For example, Walk the Prank, destroy any non-merfolk creature. That's not as good, but again, Walk the Plank. Here's the biggie. Fatal Push. You spend 1 mana. Destroy something when converted mana cost 2 or less, or if you lost a permanent, 4 or less. I mean, you can just use this to wipe creatures off the board. It is such a good card. And again, $7, $8. This plus Walking Ballista, you've paid for this entire deck. Alright, that's like we're into the lands now. So we have Aether Hub. We've seen Aether Hub before. When it enters the battlefield, get an energy token. If you have a Constrictor out, get 2 energy tokens. And then you can spend one of those energy tokens to get a mana of any color. Okay, we get a full playset of those. Are there no commons? There are no commons in this deck. Foul Orchard enters tapped, which is not great because it's a slow land, but we can get either a green or black mana from this, so it helps to mana fix a bit for us. Then we have our Hepshep Oasis. Nice thing about Hepshep Oasis, it's another pump, so it gives us a generic. We can pay 1 life to get green, but what's important is if we need to, we could go ahead and drop this out of a play. If we don't need it, we have enough mana, you know, we're drawing into too much mana in our hands. And we can go ahead and add +3/+3 to a creature. Get 2 of those. Then we have some basic swamps, it looks like. And some forest. And that's our mana base. And let's, oh man, these forests are just stuck together. Woo! So our mana base is, again, woo, go up here. Just so you can see it. 1, 2, 3, 2 Hepshep Oasises. 1, 2, 3, 4 Foul Orchards. 1, 2, 3, 4 Aether Hub. Anything with mana fixing, I would just recommend Aether Hub. I've enjoyed Aether Hub quite a bit. Either this or Spire of Industry if you have some artifacts, but Aether Hub is just a good card. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 swamps. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 forests. So that is the basic deck. Let's go ahead and take a look. Oh, moving everything around like I'm good at. Like everybody loves in an unboxing video. Oh man, these cards are all slippy slidey. Woo! Alright, we'll take a look at the sideboard here. Of course, the sideboard... Oh, the cat's running all over the place. The sideboard here is what you would go ahead and put in between matches to change your deck up depending on what you're facing. So let's take a look and see what's in here. First of all, we have Dispossess. Choose an artifact card name, search target opponent, graveyard, hand, and library for any number of cards that chose a name and exile them. Then that player discovers his or her library. You know what? You get this. Heart of Kiran is so fancy right now. You could Heart of Kiran just out of someone's deck. That's good. That's great. I wish we had 4 of those, actually. I really wish anytime you had a sideboard that you just had 4 ofs in it, because when you, or 3 ofs at least, because if you have something that's so important you're going to use it to offset a deck you're facing, in my opinion, you want 3 of them. We have Life Craft with Bestiary. Beginning of your upkeep, scry 1, and then if you cast a creature spell, you can spend 1 green mana to draw. So that's pretty handy. You can see what's coming up next and get that card in your hand. Die Young, choose target creature, you get 2 energy, then you may spend any amount of energy. The creature gets -1/-1, so removal that synergizes with the energy in the deck. Cartouche of Ambition, enchant creature you control. When Ambition is fielded, put -1/-1 on a target creature, and our creature gets +1/+1 and has lifelink. That's pretty good. I like lifelink. Duress, pretty common here. Search your opponent's hand, choose a non-creature card, or non-creature, non-land spell, make them get rid of it. You got somebody with Second Sun in their hand, you can make them get rid of it. And then it looks like Appetite for the Unnatural. It's our artifact or enchantment removal for 3. Kind of not bad, but compared to a Braid, not that great. And then Slice in Twain. Oh my goodness. Sorry, folks. Slice in Twain is the last card. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Draw a card. I think Broken Bond is just better. Do I have one over here? I mean, I probably don't. Nope, I don't. I got stacks and stacks and stacks of cards, but none of the one I'm looking for. But folks, so that is what we have inside. Oh, that cat is just going crazy out there. That is what we have inside of the Counter Surge deck. The Walking Ballista, the Fatal Push, super important cards, and overall just great synergy to build those +1/+1s. That Verdurous Gearhulk is great to build those +1/+1s and make giant scary monsters to attack your enemies. So we'll go ahead and wrap up the video here. I'm going to say thanks for watching. Please tell your friends. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, we hope to see you soon. We have a visitor.